Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today where we'll be looking at 2018 November exam paper, of which we'll be dealing with number pattern, sequence and series. Guys, please do allow me to say it's very much important that I say it's very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm about to say, it's massively important. So guys, a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. Please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So guys, before I start with the business of the day, can you please confirm for me if you are able to clearly see on my screen? And again, can you clearly hear me when I speak? Ronald, to me, Shravan, can you guys clearly see and hear me when I speak?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, 100%. So, just in case if you missed this lesson, you can easily catch it up on my YouTube channel, otherwise also on my website www.solvingexampapers.co.za. It will also be posted there. So just make sure that in case if you're watching from my YouTube channel, you can just subscribe and hit the bell notification so that every time you are updated of future uploads. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll be looking at question 3 of this exam paper, of which we'll be looking at number pattern, sequence and series. So 3.1, it says given the linear pattern, and we are given the first term being 7, second term being 2, third term being -3. Remember, Roland, in today's lesson, we are actually focusing on solving exam papers. On Monday, we did an introduction of number pattern, sequence, and series. So just make sure that at the end of this lesson, you send me an inbox. Then I'll give you a link which will direct you to what we've learned on Monday. So we normally first start with an introduction to whatever chapter that we'll be looking at. And then on the following days, that's when we'll be solving exam question papers. So let's now have a look at our first question, which is 3.1.1. So this is what we're given. And most importantly, they said this type of a number pattern is what we call a linear pattern. So now 3.1.1 says determine the general term Tn of the linear pattern. I'm sure this might be allocated. You see, it's just 2 marks, which means it's not that much complicated. But before we even go far, ladies and gentlemen, 3.1, it's very, very much important that you just rewrite the linear pattern that you are given and do what you can do before you even start attending to the questions. So what do I mean by that? Guys, you remember that if you are given the type of a pattern, of which in this case they say it's a linear pattern, already you know that you are expecting what we call the first CD. What is CD, ladies and gentlemen? C for common, D for difference, and the first is to specify that when you are dealing with an arithmetic sequence, that's when you have the first common difference. But if it was a quadratic number pattern, we were going to have the first D, then second CD. So the difference is that when you have D, it's just the first difference, but when you have the second CD, it means it's quadratic. Then you're dealing with the second common difference. Common meaning the same number of that difference. So now term 2 minus term 1. What are we getting over there? I think it's -5. Okay, so now what is term 3 minus term 2? Because it's a linear pattern, you are expecting the same value, of which when you punch -3 minus 2, you end up having -5. It therefore, ladies and gentlemen, confirms that here we are dealing with an arithmetic sequence, or otherwise a linear pattern, as they say in the question. And most importantly, we do very well that this is the relevant formula to use in answering the questions related to this number pattern. So it's either you use an arithmetic formula, a quadratic formula, or a geometric formula. So you are guided by the type of a pattern that you are given. So now let's try and have a look at the very first question. So this is all that we can do on that number pattern. So the first question, which is 3.1.1, says determine the general term Tn of the linear pattern. So when they talk about the general term, it's more like this is exactly what the question wants you to calculate. So in short, just want you to substitute your D and your D, your A and your D, and then simplify. So remember, guys, always follow the numbering system used in the question paper. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So now Tn, it is exactly what we're trying to calculate. So remember, guys, our E value is T1. And remember, this is term 2, this is term 3. So term 1 can also be referred to as A. So that means in this case, our term 1 is 7. Plus into n minus 1 close. In yesterday's lesson, I told you about the importance of substituting your D into brackets. For someone who missed that lesson, they were just going to say -5. But when you go deep, or when you try and simplify that equation, you end up forgetting that this is actually a negative and not a minus. So it is going to lead you to the wrong destination. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that the moment you say, I'm now substituting, if you're substituting a value, especially a negative value, make sure to put it inside the brackets. So how do you know that after I've substituted, what is my next step? Ladies and gentlemen, always, you don't want to be seeing brackets on your equation or on your expression. So that means always you need to remove your brackets, and this is the only way in which you can remove your brackets. So that means you are having -5 multiplying what is it n over there. So this plus is that plus. So now you're multiplying a negative value to a positive value, so you end up having a negative value. That is why I am going to remove that, based on that understanding that you're multiplying n by -5. So that means you end up having negative n. So you multiply negative by negative, it's a positive. 1 times 5, it is 5. So it's just a matter of you simplifying. What is 7 plus 5? Is it not 12? I think it's 12 minus 5n. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, Tn, which is what the question wanted you to calculate. This is how you represent your final answer. And this question, it was allocated just 2 marks, ladies and gentlemen, which means you are possibly going to score a mark for correct substitution and for correct final answer. Let me see. Ronald Shravan, to me, voo. That makes sense.
Yes, sir, it does make sense.
Okay. Last one to confirm. Remember, Vuv, in case if you want to make a comment, make sure to unmute your mic. But before I continue, can I have last one to confirm if all is in order?
Yes, sir, it makes sense.
Okay, 100%. So just so that let me try to get my pen over there. Just so that I also don't forget on my side, I'll just try to write that over there to say we found our Tn to be equals to 12 minus 5n. So for those of you who are writing, just make sure not to lose an answer to question 3.1.1. Okay, so very, very much importantly, remember I said at all times, follow the numbering system used in the question paper so that you score maximum marks. So now let's try and have a look at the second question. So it says calculate the value of T20. Easy. They just want you to calculate T20. So can you see, in place of n, they just substituted 20, which means the previous general formula that you got, you just substitute 20 wherever you see n. And remember, it's equals to 12 minus 5n, which means wherever you see n, you just substitute 20. What is that? What is this, guys? So this is 100. It's going to be negative, what, 88? I think it's 88. Can someone just confirm for me over there?
Yes, it's negative 88, sir.
Okay, so when you interpret this, ladies and gentlemen, it simply means, let's see, term 1 is 7, term 2 is 2, term 3 is negative 3. That means term 4, you just add by negative 5, term 5, you just add by negative 5, whatever, until you get to term number 20. So term number 20, it is actually negative 88. That is how you interpret this answer, VUVU. So what it simply means is that if you don't want to keep on adding by negative 5 until you get to term 20, you can just use this formula because it is a general formula. So it can take you to wherever you want to go. If you want to know what will be term, let's say 105, that means wherever you see n, you just substitute 105. So that means instead of you having to go like then you just substitute 20 wherever you see n, and it will take you to your destination. And also, this was given 2 marks. Possibly, you're just going to get a mark for correct substitution and again for correct final answer. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there, that you fully understand exactly what we are doing over there. So that means you can either be asked in terms of what will term number 20 be, and again you can be asked in terms of let's say, for example, they say which term on the sequence will be equals to whatever. Then that's where you need to tell which term on the sequence it's whatever. And always in this case, you will always get a positive number when they say which term in the pattern will be equals to a value of whatever, because it can either be term 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So you will never get a negative answer for that one of that question. The moment you get a negative number, just know that you've made a mistake somewhere. But the moment they say calculate the of term whatever, then you can get either a positive or a negative number. It depends in terms of whether from term 1 to 2 to term 3 we are decreasing or increasing. So you can see term 1 is bigger, term 2 is less, it's less, and less, which means in that direction we are actually decreasing. So that means when they say term 20, you are expecting a very less number or a very big negative number. So you need to have an expectation before you even get your final answer. So just make sure that before you calculate, you have an expectation or you have an idea of what exactly are you expecting. Koketso, did that make sense? Are you happy there with that explanation? Voo. Voo, 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 voo.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Hey, I thought you are a lady. Vuvu. Is vus? What is vuvu in full?
It's Buchiro.
Oh, vuchero. Hey, what mean ngangi? What mean?
Rione, sir.
Are you in vendor?
No, sir, I'm currently in Gauteng and Centurion.
Oh, okay. But originally from Ven, isn't it?
No, I was born here. I just go there during the holidays, that's all.
Okay. So you said you're happy with that, isn't it?
Yes, sir, I'm happy.
100%. So now, let's move to question 3.1.3, and the question says, which term in the pattern has a value of negative 138? So can you see they say which term in the pattern? So because of, I'm noticing something, guys, it's more like if they say calculate the value of term whatever, that means on that general formula of t, what was it? Tn is equals to 7 minus, no, it was 12, isn't it? 12 minus 5n. It's more like if the question says calculate the value, then they just want a number on the pattern. But if the question says which term, so that means they actually want to know which term, which means it could be term 1, term 2, term 3, or whatever the term is. So that means that's when they want to calculate n. So I'm actually now having a understanding of these things, because these two questions, they might be a bit confusing, especially when you're starting with this chapter in terms of how do you know if they want you to calculate n, how do you know if they want you to calculate tn. So it seems to be easy in a sense that if they say calculate the value of t something, can you see in place of n they substituted a certain number, and now the question wants a value, which means whenever you see n, you just substitute that number of 20 there. Now in this case it says which term in the pattern has a value of that, so that means that's where they want you to calculate the n value. Yeah, boo.
We can't see clearly.
Oh, is it blurry there?
Blurry.
Is it blurry?
Yes,
But can you maybe see now? How is it now?
it's still blurry, sir.
It's blurry, ne? Is it blurry for everyone? Curious. Is Shravan, Vuvu,
Yes, sir.
Ronald?
Yes, sir, it's blurry.
Let me maybe try to switch it off and then on. Otherwise, I'll just read the question. How is it now? Is it still blurry?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Even the boy is
Maybe let me try to do this. Okay, and that. Let's check. Still blurry, ne?
Yes, sir.
Maybe still blurry.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Maybe let me switch off the light and see. Okay. Let me try a dark mode, night shift until okay, it's fine if I don't know. How is it now? Still blurry?
Yes, sir.
I think
Okay.
it's the camera, sir, the one you're using to record.
Sorry, say again, Ronald. What did you say?
I think it's the camera, sir, the one you're using to record. I don't think it's
Oh,
the tablet, the camera.
okay. Let me do this. Let me leave and then I'll be back just now. Anyone to tell if it's still the same or has it improved now?
Sir, it's still the same.
Okay. Then in that case, let me try to remove it and try to read. Just let me know if you can see over there as I write. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now then it's fine. If you can see on the whiteboard, then I'll just read the question. So that question of question 3.1.3, it actually says, which term in the pattern has a value of negative 138? Okay, I just remembered, guys. So in the group, I did send this question paper. So just in case, if you want to read the question that I'm reading, on your screen, there should be somewhere you can click back and then minimize. Then you can access the question paper in the group. But remember, this lesson is being recorded and is going to be posted. So just make sure that, as soon as we're done with this lesson, you check out that question paper and then you can try and redo the questions. So let's see. The question says, which term in the pattern has a value of that? So remember, guys, they're saying which term, and again, n value, it is always going to be a positive value. Just in case if you're dealing with a quadratic number pattern and you get two values of n, just know the correct one is the positive value. So let's see. Now, in this case, we can equate Tn to this. So that means on our general formula, we equate Tn to that and say this is equal to 12 minus 5n. Then we do just to solve for n. And most importantly, guys, in this case, we are expecting a positive value. Shravan, I want to give you a challenge. What type of an equation is that? Can you give it a guess?
It's a linear.
It's a linear equation. So, do you want to tell us what does it mean if it's a linear equation?
Linear equation means when it's power to one, there's an invisible one.
100%. Let me try and check. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, our unknown has got an invisible of power 1, which means this one, it tells us that we are going to have a final answer of just one value of the unknown. So let's try to solve for that n and see. What are we going to get? Chabalala, one side. Shreyas, every time when I have to sing this song, I remember you, my friend. You remember the song, Shreyas? Do you want to tell Thabo Mnyama there what the song simply means in a nutshell?
So it means that letters on the one side and numbers on the other side.
Chabalala, one side. Vuvu, I forgot his name. It seems like he's gone. To me, what's your surname? To me is busy preaching there and she forgot to unmute her mic. Thabo Mnyama. Oh, Mnyama is the same name, I suppose. So, Mnyama, what the song simply means is that you want to take all the letters to one side, all the numbers to one side. So, let's see. It's better when we have letters on the left, numbers on the right. So now you are going to transpose that to the other side. It becomes positive 5n. Then you transpose this because it's a number to the other side. This equals 2. So remember, Mnyama, this is the host and this one is the visitor. So you must first start with the host because this is their home, and then the visitor, you write it next. But remember, because it's a visitor, we change the sign and it becomes 138. So that means we have 5n being equals to, what are we having there? Plus 2 is 140, plus 10 is 150. So this is 150 over there. But can you see, we just want n, ladies and gentlemen. So we divide by exactly that so that we deter that number from the unknown. So whatever that you do on the left, you do on the right. Very, very much important over there. What are we having there, ladies and gentlemen? I know 100 divided by 5 is 25, isn't it? And then 50. Guys, what is that? What is that?
30.
Are you saying 30?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you interpret this thing, ladies and gentlemen, it's more like you are saying, if you had to start from term 1 and say plus -5, it gives you that plus that plus that plus that plus. You are going to do it 30 times, and when you will get this value of -138 over there. Did that make sense to everyone, ladies and gentlemen? Did you all understand that that calculation over there?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
normally they are going to give you a mark for correct substitution and a mark for your final for you. What am I saying? Final answer. What is that? Your final answer. That's when you're going to get 30, n being 30, and your mark from your correct substitution, and then your final answer. It's also going to be given a mark over there. So that question was also allocated 2 marks. So now let's get to an interesting question over there, ladies and gentlemen, being 3.2. So all that we're doing it was 3.1. So I'm not sure
Sir,
if you guys will say it is blurry. Just make sure that your
sir,
mic remains muted. But can you see there, Vuvu? Is it clear now? Is it still blurry?
sir, I wanted to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're given a geometric sequence, and we can't find a whole number as our nth term, what do we do then? Do we round it off, or maybe it's because I did something wrong in my calculation?
Wait, which type of a sequence are you talking about? The Vuvus.
The geometric sequence.
And you're calculating for n.
Yes, sir.
So n can never be a negative, n can never be a decimal. The Vuvus is just a number. It's either it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. Possibly you might have made a mistake somewhere in your calculations. So
Okay, sir.
yes, so we'll try and check if we can have a question on a geometric sequence. I think what we've done, it was arithmetic and a quadratic. So we'll just try do one question maybe next week sometime during weekdays, or we'll see when we can have a chance to do that. At least I hope you were answered. So now let's move to question 3.2, where we are given 6, 2x plus 1, and 3x minus 3. These are the first 3 terms of a linear pattern, and the question says calculate the value of x, and this question is allocated 3 marks. So good people, remember, very, very much important that you number your questions following the number system used in question paper. So let's see, what are we having there? Plus 1, what are we having there? We have 3x minus 3. And they state these are the 3 terms. So it's more like this is term 1, this is term 2, this is term 3 of a linear number pattern. Guys, what do we know about linear number pattern? What do we know about that?
The differences are equal.
So the difference is equal. So that means the first difference is common. That is why we refer to this as the first CD. So that means when we say this minus that, it is actually the same or equal as this minus that. So before you even try to answer the question, let's try to work out that at a normal pace, knowingly that when we get to our final answer, or when we start answering the question, we won't do things incorrectly there. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, we are having 2x plus 1 minus term 1 being 6. And again, we are having this being 3x minus 3 close minus the whole of that. Can you see how careful I am, ladies and gentlemen? I'm putting everything in brackets because I know the importance of having everything inside the brackets. Okay, so now let's see. So can you see, I don't want to be seeing any brackets on my equation or expression or whatever a best problem I'm dealing with. So that means to remove the brackets there is just a matter of me trying to simplify all of this. So let's see, we have invisible 1 over there. 1 times that, this is just a 2x. By that, it is just positive 1. So it's more like 1 minus 6. It's negative 5. So that means the whole of this thing, it is actually the same as this. Let's also try and simplify that. So we have invisible 1 over there, this times that, this times that. We're just having 3x minus 3, and then negative invisible 1 over there, again multiplied by negative invisible 1 over there. We have negative 2x minus 1. Let's further simplify this. We have common terms of this. So it's more like we have 1x because it's 3x minus 2x. And then we have negative 3, negative 1 is negative 4. So it's more like the whole of this, ladies and gentlemen, in a simplified manner, it is actually the same as that. Vuvu said something about an arithmetic pattern. He said when we're dealing with arithmetic pattern, we always have the first common difference, which means when you say this minus that, they can be equated to this minus that. So we could have straight away equated this to that, but we just wanted to have this in a simplified manner. So can you see, Shubhan, the importance of knowing how to simplify? It's in these cases where you are given something which is a bit long or complicated, and you now rewrite it in its simplest form. Can you see it to me? This is how you rewrite it in its simplest form. Why did you do that? It's so that you can simply equate 2x minus 5. You equate it to x minus 4. Can you see? It's easy to work it out. Even if you equated the whole of this to the whole of that, you're just going to have a long thing on the left side and a long thing on the right side, and now simplify everything. But in this case, it seems, hey, chabalala, one side. Can you see Shriyas? Maloleka, one side. So always, when you're dealing with this chapter, just remember this song, ladies and gentlemen, which says you want to have all the letters on one side, all the numbers on one side. So you should always know this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Mr. Ragunan is going to tell you that this is a linear equation. Why? Because the unknown being represented by letter x, they have a power of invisible 1, which means finally your final answer must be an unknown is equals to just one number. So let's see. What are we doing? We're going to transpose. That means the host is 2x. This one is just a negative x. It's a visitor. So it becomes negative x. It's equals to. Can you see, guys? This is a host. You start with whatever that was there already. So now you transpose the number to the outside and it changes the sign. It's a visitor. Okay. So it's more like you're having 2x minus that. It's actually just 1x. What is this? I think this is a 1 over. It's more like now your x value is actually equals to a 1 over there. Let's try to check if that one is correct, ladies and gentlemen. So that means we substitute 1 where we see x over there, and we also substitute it there. Then what sequence are we having when we substitute? We're going to have 6. So what is 2 times 1 plus? This is 3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see on that one. 3 times 1 is 3 minus 3 is 0. I'm now suspecting something, ladies and gentlemen. Did we do everything correctly there?
Yes, it's 0.
Is it 0?
So I think we did do the
Maybe
right
it's 0.
thing. It's just that
Maybe it's 0.
it's decreasing.
Maybe it's 0. Okay, let's try to check something. So when we say 3 minus 6, what are we having, guys? Because we're just expecting the first common difference. If the first common difference is not common, then we know we made something wrong somewhere. But let's see. What is 3 minus 6? Let's see. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Is it negative 3?
Yes, it's negative 3.
Okay. What is 0 minus 3. Let's see. 0 minus 3. This is negative. So can you see, guys? It seems like this is the correct answer. Can you guys see?
Yes, sir.
Vu 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 Shreyas Ragunanen Nhlakanipho Nqobo Ronald. To me, are you guys happy over that? That makes sense to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, 100%. So now let's try to see how far we can go with the next question. I'm surely going to give you the last question to do as part of your homework or something for practice. Can someone just indicate if it is still blurry? Can you guys see?
no, sir.
No, sir.
So it's still blurry, né?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll just read it out. Maybe let me try and do this. Let me try and do this. Still blurry.
Yes, sir.
Let me try to maybe clean the camera. Seems like it is still blurry, but it's fine. I'll just read the question paper. So it says, given, it says, let me just first write the question over there. So we are now on question number 4, which says the quadratic number pattern of 4p 11 q 22, they say it has a constant second difference of 1. So can you see? Already they are saying the second CD is equals to 1. Very, very much important over there. And the type of a number pattern is quadratic. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I would do before I even start attending the questions, I'm going to do all that I can as far as quadratic number pattern is concerned. I know very well that I'm just going to have the first difference. So that means that p minus 4. So I'm having p minus 4, and I'm having what is that? A term that minus term that. So that means it is 11 minus p, and again I'm having q minus 11, q minus 11, and I'm having 22 minus that, which is 22 minus q over there. But remember, guys, this is a quadratic, so it means we extend, let's see, second common difference. So that means we are having this minus that. So you can just work it out on the side. Say it's actually 11 minus p minus what is it? P minus 4. So it is very much important that you put it inside the brackets. Therefore, it is that by that, that by that. There you have invisible 1. So when you multiply anything by 1, it is just that anything. So here, it is just negative p, then positive 4. So let's see. What is this plus this? I think it's 15. This minus that, it's minus 2p. So can you see here, it's more like you are just having 15 minus 2p. Then you do the same for this one. So on the side, you can still work it out, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, I haven't even looked at the first question, but I know that when you say q minus 11 inside the bracket and you subtract, what is it? It's minus, it's minus into 11 minus P. So invisible 1, you just have the same thing minus that. Invisible -1, invisible -1, then you have -11. That one is a plus P. So let's see. It's more like what are we having there? Can you see? It's more like we are having Q -22 and then plus P. Am I correct in doing that, guys? I think I am. I think I am, because this is where I got it. It is that. This is where I got this minus that. It is that. So when it comes to the second difference, then I'm having this. Okay, let me write it as it is. I'll just see how far I can go. There we have plus P. So can you see? Therefore, you also say that minus that over there. So let's try to remove everything over there and then out that one. So it is 22 minus Q. Remember, guys, this is me in exam trying to answer this question. So just make sure that you have your eyes wide open and check for every mistake that I'm making. So there, what am I having? I'm having Q minus 11. So visible 1, invisible 1. I'm just having 22 there minus Q. Visible -1 by invisible -1. Having Q, then positive 11. So in short, it's more like I have this. This is a 33, 33 minus 2Q over. So it's more like this one. It is actually 33 minus 2Q over there. There's something interesting that they said over there, ladies and gentlemen. They said second common difference is equals to 1. So that means this thing can be equated to 1. This thing, it can be equated to 1. This thing, it can be equated to 1. So now, this is all that I can do as far as quadratic number pattern is concerned. And most importantly, you remember Ragunanen, we said a quadratic equation, it is that one of n squared plus bn plus c. This is the general formula for a quadratic number pattern. And something special about that, we said the first term can be equated to sum, and the second term can be equated to sum, and the third, this is not the third term, this is not the second term, but this is the first difference, and this is the second difference. So there's a formula that can be equated to that, to this, to that. We will explore those formulas as we go deeper. When I say every time you're given a quadratic or a linear or a geometric number pattern, when I say do all that you can, this is what I'm talking about. That you've done all that you can, which is working out the difference or the ratio, and then identifying the relevant formula. Now you can start answering the questions. So here is the first question, 4.1, which says, show that P is equals to 7 and Q is equals to 16. Let's try to show that, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we need to show that P, it is equals to 7 and Q, it is equals to 16, which means whatever that we do, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't get this, your new home is in the mountain, ladies and gentlemen. So easy, 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 easy. I do know very well that the second common difference is said is 1. So that means I can equate this to 1. So that means 15 minus 2p can be equated to 1. So now, between these two, you need to be smart in terms of which one to equate to 1. So you can see this one, it has a Q and it has a P, but this one, it just has a Q. So maybe let's equate this to 1 and that to 1 and check. We can find the P value 7, the Q value being 16. So let's solve. Hey, guys, this song is very, very much important. Isn't there someone in this group who's a musician that we can produce a song, guys? So the song goes like this. Shri has one side. Vuvu, don't you know this song? You have been singing this song since the beginning of this year, and no one knows this song. Don't you know this song?
I know the song.
One side.
I know the song.
You know this song, eh? The
I
Vuvus.
say one side.
That's this one. Shriyas, can you see this song is alive, man? I told you. I told this Vuvu, and they said this is a freestyle or whatever. Guys, malule one side. Vuvu, asishayile.
Sir, I can't sing.
No, you just mentioned the same name. Ronald, one side.
Macado, one side.
Mukai, one side.
Macado, one side.
Guys, I'm telling you, I think one day I must just Google this song, and then from there, we'll play Elo Elo. Nompumelelo Mtia. We just joined while we're singing a very nice song which tells us that letters on one side, numbers on one side. What letter are we having there? Can you see? We can just say we've got negative 2p, and then we transpose that one to the other side. Remember, this is a visitor, this is a host, then we start with 1. Our visitor, they must change a sign to show some respect. So now, let's see, we have negative 2p equals to negative 14. So, Ragunanen, we want to remove that negative. So we divide by exactly that. Whatever that you do on the left, you do on the right. That cancels this. Hey, guys, can you see that we did prove that our p-value is equal to 7? Therefore, with a big smile and a confidence, we can therefore confidently try to prove that the q value is also equals to 16. How do we do that? Remember, they said the second CD is equals to 1. So we can just equate this to 1, which means we are having 33 minus 2q. This is equals to 1. Then the song again, you transpose, you have negative 2. Someone understands very well what I'm saying there. Let me hey, no. You see now this it came there, it must be So now what is what is that? Vu. Hello.
Positive 16.
Positive 16. So that means is equals to positive 16. So can you guys see that we did successfully show that p is equals to 7 and q is equal to 6? Guys, are you happy there? Are you guys doing well, or are you watching are you watching the river there? What are you guys doing there?
Sir, I have a question.
What was that? Did someone say it was clear? We can now move to the next question.
I have a question, sir.
Oh, yes. Go for it, the Vuvus.
Sir, right, we proved that our p is equals to 7. So now if we decide to take the P and substitute it into the Q minus 22 plus P, then solve for Q,
Yes.
will we lose a mark?
No. You won't lose the mark, and tell me why you won't lose the mark. Voo.
Sir, can you please repeat what you just said?
So I wanted to say you won't lose a mark, and you know the reason why you won't lose a mark. So I was saying, tell me why you won't lose a mark.
Is it because we already proved that our P is equals to 7?
No. Let's try to do it. So the reason to that is because whatever that we did on this two, it is applicable on this one. It's only that this might take a bit longer to work it out. So let's try and check. So it's more like you are going to see Q minus 22 plus P is equal to what? Is 1. Then what is your P value? Your P value is 7. Let's see. So it means it's Q minus 22 plus 7, it's equals to 1. Let's see. What is this, ladies and gentlemen? Can someone punch over there? Is it 15?
15, sir.
Yes, negative 15, it's equals
Negative
to
15.
1. Then Q is equals to, can you see? This is actually 16. So you will still get the same answer. It's only that between these two, this one is a shortcut and this one is a bit lengthy. It says that you will need to know what is your P value there. Did that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Is everyone happy there? Can we now move to the next question? Hello. Are you following there?
Yes, I think I am, but
You were late. Ronaldinho, how are we doing there?
We're still good, sir. Still good.
Shravan, hamba njani lapho? Trias,
Understand the lesson?
Yes, sir.
Nhlakanipho Nco, kuqhubeka kanjani lapho? Thabo, Dumi.
Still good, sir.
Okay,
Still good.
so it seems like we are doing good. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to strategically move forward. So we already know that the first term is 4, and this one, the P value, is 7. Even if not successfully calculated, but because we were already told that show that the P value is whatever, we just write it as it is for the sake of continuing to the next question. They said Q is 16, and then we said this one is actually 22. So we can easily now find the actual values. What is this minus that? I think this is 3. This minus that, what is this? It's 4. This minus that is 5. This minus that. So can you see that difference is 1, 1, and then 1. So can you see the second difference is 1, and it is 1 as they say over there. Low. I know you were late, but not. This lesson is being recorded. As soon as I'm done, it will be made available online. Then you can watch it. But remember, I think you are on an upgraded package. So just in case, if you wish for us to redo these, your package allows you to do that. Okay, so next question says, determine the general Tn of the quadratic pattern, and this question allocated 4 marks. Easy, 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 easy. But remember, guys, we said this one, it is equated to what, guys? Is it the one which is equated to 2a? I think 2a, it is equated
Yes,
to
sir.
that. Being what? What is that, guys? This is 1. And then again, this one, it is equated to what? Is it, what is it? Is it 3a
It's 3A
minus,
plus B.
is it minus b or plus b?
It's positive B, sir.
Positive b is
Positive.
equals to 3. And then what else are we having? That one I remember is just a plus b plus c. It is equals to the first term 4. So what you need to know as a grade 11 and grade 12 is that this second difference, it is actually equated to 2a. This is a formula, never change. And then this one, it is equated to that, which is 3a plus b. Then this one, it is just a plus b plus c. It is equated to whatever the first term is. So examiner can still say this is a quadratic equation and still ask you questions based on that. You just need to be aware that this can be equated to that, this can be equated to that, this can be equated to that. Very, very much important. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, for the second time, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm about to say is massively, massive. Hey, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that is a day without learning something new. It's a day wasted. Hello. Please make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn some new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So now, easy. We can now calculate the general term of the quadratic sequence. Remember, this is the general formula. Tn is equals to a squared plus bn plus c. All that we need to do is to give a value, b value, and c value. And we are going to use those 3 equations. So let's see. Here, it is equal to a, it's equals to 1. We can just divide by 2. Then it cancels. We have our a value being 1 over 2. We are done. Then we take this answer and substitute it there as 1 over 2. So what is 3 into a 1 over 2 plus b equals to that? This is what we are trying to calculate. So that means b, it is going to be equals to 3, then you transpose, and then it's minus, it's actually 3 over 2. And this is what? I think this is 1.5. So it's more like 3 minus 1.5. I think it is still 3 over 2. Can someone just confirm over there? Okay, so now take our a value and b value and substitute it over there as 1 over 2 as our a value, as 3 over 2 as our b. Can someone confirm if my head is telling me correct stuff over there? So it's more
Yes,
like,
it's 3 over 2.
okay, 1 over 2 plus 3 over 2 plus c, it is equals to 4. So can you see? You transpose, can you see how important this song is, ladies and gentlemen, especially on this chapter of number patterns? You can easily apply. Guys, make sure not to sing this song in exam. I'm telling you, they are going to call an ambulance thinking that you are mad. Imagine in exam, everyone is quiet and you're starting one side. Hey, I'm telling you guys, they are going to call 100 doctors to come and alpha you in exam. Okay, so let's see. What are we having there? Ladies and gentlemen, I was just giving you an opportunity to calculate that. So this is 1.5 plus a half is 2. Then this is 2 because it's going to be 4 minus 2. Can someone just confirm if I'm getting correct thing over there? I'm just going to stretch my mind, ladies and
correct.
gentlemen.
It's correct, sir.
Normally, I like pretending to be smart by teaching without having a calculator, guys. I know sometimes I get wrong answers, but today everything seems to be partial. So let's see, what are we having? We just have a half n squared. Did we have a positive value? Yes, it's a positive value. Therefore, it is 3 over 2n. That one also is a positive value. That is why I'm writing a positive. So can you see, guys, this is the formula for the general term of that number pattern. So ladies and gentlemen, did you all understand that? Shreya, Shravan, Ronald, Elo, Tlakanipo, to me. Did that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, sir.
I hope all that I've done over there, it was correct. So now, quickly, let's move to the next question, of which I think this will be our last question, and then from there, you'll do the last one. But remember, there's another lesson by Mr. Sibda at 8:30. So just make sure not to miss that lesson. So remember, guys, there's no time for you guys to be wasted. Very soon you'll be out of your high school, so you need as much educational support as possible to shape your future for the rest of your life. So don't waste until last minutes towards exams and you start attending and whatever. This is okay. So now let's see. They say determine the value of n if tn is equals to 2, 3, 2. Easy. Can you see? N is what they want you to calculate over there. So if Tn is equals to 2, 3, 2, then remember there you had 1 over 2 n squared plus 3 over 2n plus 2. Remember, Ragunanan, we said this is a quadratic equation, which means you need to rewrite it in the standard form. How do you do that? You can just transpose that to the other side. It doesn't matter whether you have 0 on the left. Then you can say you have that plus that, and then what is this? I think this is going to be negative 230 because it's 2 minus that. It is going to be that. So you can therefore maybe use a quadratic formula to find the factors. So can you see how important this formula is? You must make sure that you know it by heart, because if you don't, you won't be able to factorize that. So that means you use the formula to factorize, get the factors. Then you're going to get two values of n. And you might find that the other one is a negative value, the other one is a positive value. So this one of a negative value, you cross it, because we said our n, it is always positive. I hope this gives you a guidance in terms of how you approach the question. So I'm leaving it to you guys to do also question 4.4. So that once you've done it, you send it via inbox in case if you want me to have a look at it. Otherwise, there's no deadline to this one. It's just for you to practice. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've got an idea of which I'm not sure if it might work. I just wanted to confirm with you guys. Can you see I've got some old lessons that I've done, of which most of you guys were not able to attend. So what I'm thinking of doing is to actually play those previous lessons on a daily basis. So I've got 2 times of which I'm not sure in terms of when to decide, which is something that I wanted to ask you guys. I'll also post in the group so that we fill in the list. So I have an option to post old lessons on YouTube channel to play live, such that when they play, I'll be there to attend to every question that will be said. So the time is 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Why 10? Because at 7 o'clock there's a lesson. 8:30 there's a lesson which is going to end at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, that's when is the suitable time. But at 5, you might find that you guys just came back from school and then you want to do your homeworks, whatever, house chores and whatever. So which time do you guys think is suitable? 5 or 10? The time that you can have a chance to watch the lesson on YouTube. There won't be a need for you to write. Even when you are on bed, you just have your headsets and then you just watch it. What time, guys? Which time will be suitable?
10.
10.
o'clock.
10.
So 10. Okay, it seems like 10 is passing. I'll just put this in the question. Just make sure that in case if I say the time, or otherwise if I say comment with the time, just make sure to do that so that everyone is aware. And then from there, I will know that for those of you who discovered me recently, you can therefore have an opportunity to catch up on previous lessons in preparation for your preparatory exams in September. So all of this will be starting to premiere possibly first Monday of July. That's when the whole of this will be starting, and we'll see how it will go. As long as you guys say you'll make time to catch up. Okay, so guys, just make sure not to miss your next lesson. I hope you did enjoy as much as I did. Thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond. Have a very good night before after your next lesson. Guys, my name is Desmond, and I'm out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.